Thank you very much, Chairman. And a very good night to the people of St. John's and the people of Nevis. I'm very happy to be here in this center. And I always say that I was part of the center. You see, back in 1984, thereabouts, it was a very long time ago, this center, we had some money from the USAID. And I wanted a center built. And I turned to Hensley, and he brought his team. He likes to talk about Sooty and Dwight and my friend there, Pemberton. And they built the center. They even had an egg farm to produce eggs and sell eggs to raise money, etc. And this was the first community center that was ever built on the island of Nevis by these men. And they organized a range of programs for the development of this area. And I really feel that the people of this area need to remember, and they owe Mr. Daniel and even NRP some kind of gratitude for that act. Now, I want to say that Mr. Hector made a very heart-rending plea for the Nevis Reformation Party and for himself. And I want to support it 100%. This party, known as the Nevis Reformation Party, has demonstrated over and over and over that it is the only party that really cares for the people of Nevis. But more than that, it is the only party that can really perform on behalf of the people of Nevis. And from generation to generation to generation, we have demonstrated this. It started with Sim Daniel, with Ivor Stevens, Ural Swanston, Arthur Evelyn, Levi Morton, and many, many others. And then came along Victor J. Martin and myself. And then the next generation of Henry Daniel, Roberta Hector, Carlisle Powell, Patrice Nesbitt, Dwight Cozier. And every one of us have taken up the baton and has carried it forward. We have performed, and we have proven that performance matters. I don't know about the flirtations that take place with the other side. I am aware of the promises, and those promises may sound sweet when they're made. But I think by now we fully realize that promises are not facts, and performance cannot be done without people who know what they're doing. I heard Mr. Amory from a clip saying 5 community centers. 5 community centers in 1 year. And I asked myself, what is his problem? What is wrong with 5 community centers in 1 year? And then I thought about the community centers they put down before. And the very fact that those community centers are not really being used. But these 5 community centers are being used, were being used under the Nevis Reformation Party. And he said, you know what he said? He said, they have to find programs. Imagine we have to find programs. Well, what is government about? What he's supposed to do? Isn't he supposed to work with the community to find programs for the people of Nevis? Who were the community centers for? Myself? Hector? My friend here, Daniel? No. For the development of the people of Nevis, especially the young people of Nevis. But it is very instructive that those 5 community centers are being used by everybody. Everybody in the community and outside the community. And those that they built are not being used. The second point the poor fellow didn't realize, that because the communities were involved in the construction of the centers, and then the use of the centers, they are using them with or without government. And I want you to realize that tonight. The one in Jessops is being used by the people of Jessops. The one in Cotton Ground is being used by the people of Cotton Ground and the people of Nevis. Fountain and Combermere, and where's the other one? And Barnesgott. They're all being used. because our programs are good. I don't want to say he was jealous. I think he's just crazy. There's something definitely wrong with him. He can't stand prosperity not coming from him. And it's a very unfortunate situation. You know, I was very concerned, and I'm very concerned, that they claim that they've brought 500 jobs to the people of Nevis. And you know, they put Mr. Colin Dorr, who is the acting permanent Secretary of Finance, to say this to the people of Nevis. The unfortunate thing about it is that Colin Dorr is supposed to be a civil servant. And he's hurting himself. And he's compromising himself because the very baby is laughing. The very baby at the breast sucking is laughing at the nonsense of 500 jobs. And here is the reason the numbers have gone up at Social Security. A young lady said to me, "Is the PEP? Is the PEP? You want to tell me that don't know it's the PEP?" And I said, here is a young lady who understands, and all these young people understand, nobody is being fooled. Nobody is being fooled. If the PEP have 500 persons and they're over 16, don't they go to Social Security? Don't they register at Social Security? And don't they contribute to Social Security? So won't the numbers increase? And you want to tell me that a PS Finance is trying to put that down our throats? Voodoo economics, voodoo mathematics, voodoo, just general voodoo. And that is what is happening in this country in an attempt to fool and mislead the people of this country. Well, hear now, my people. I am told, and I'm going to be very careful here, that maybe our civil servants will be paid on Thursday. Maybe they'll be paid on Friday. Maybe they'll be paid on Monday. Now, look at the situation. Just last week, they said to us, everything is fine. The economy is running good. The IMF said that they are meeting their boundaries or whatever they're supposed to meet, the targets. And then on Monday, a letter is written to the Prime Minister to tell him that they may need $5 million so that they can pay the civil servants. Well, isn't this the same Prime Minister who was abused last month, who was told he was fast and nobody asked him anything? He is in London. Vance Amry is in London. And when Vance Amry leaves London, he goes to Singapore. I understand he's not due back until the 1st. You notice something? Every time payday comes, Mr. Amry is not here. Don't you ask yourself a question then? Is he interested in you? Or is he interested in himself? Or does he really care at all whether you'll be paid or you'll not be paid? Because, you know, he expects, not that he hopes, he expects that you will say, it's the Prime Minister's fault. You realize that? He expects that there'll be a chorus of voices saying it's the Prime Minister's fault. He expects that there'll be a chorus of voices saying it's Parry's fault. It is NRP's fault. It's Patricia's fault. And there are some people, like Animal Farm, only a few, but still some people, who will echo that nonsense. And it is for all of us to disabuse them and let them understand this simple point, that when they voted in 2013, they were voting for a government in Nevis. They were voting for a government to run the affairs of Nevis. They were voting for a government to ensure that the finances of Nevis were in good order so that they could get good government. And if Mr. Amory is not able to do it, he should move aside. He should take himself out of the arena and continue his travels on his own account. As simply as that. Because if I were to go into detail tonight and tell you the finances are in a mess. No deposits are made at National Bank, but National Bank is owed money. No deposits are made to National Bank, but there's an overdraft at National Bank that is not being serviced. Monies go to Bank of Nevis and wherever else, but Bank of Nevis is a small bank. Let me tell you this, my people. Bank of Nevis cannot carry the government of Nevis and the overdraft of Nevis, and should not be expected to do so. If the government needs the servicing of the overdraft, and if it has to seek money from month to month, it means that it's not making enough money. So what are we talking about? Now here comes the situation. Would the Prime Minister have to go into Parliament? If he has to go into Parliament, when is he coming back from London? When will he go into Parliament? Is he going to telephone from London and conduct the affairs of Parliament from London? What is to happen to us? These are the questions that we must ask, and we must make the comparisons with 1983. Mr. Amory is the one who went back to 1983. And I'm not going to go into any details of what he was talking about in 1983, but he's the one who went back there. And he said that he served Mr. Daniel loyally. Did you hear that? He said that he served Mr. Daniel loyally. Well, every time in 1983, there was a crisis of payment, he was not there. That is how we serve Mr. Daniel loyally. When there was a problem developing, he was downtown on the streets of Charlestown telling people, is there a problem up there? That is how he served Mr. Daniel and the people of Nevis loyally. I just want you to understand that nothing has changed. Is the Prime Minister, I don't know who it was then, but it's the Prime Minister now. Let us ask ourselves seriously, are we going in the right direction? Is Mr. Amory and Mark Brantley and his government doing what they should do to run this country? Ask yourself these questions. Now, Mr. Amory said that a project by a man by the name of Greg Hartman was languishing under NRP, and he's now flourishing under him. You understand? You hear? You hear how the man is? The Brown Hill Communications you heard about. So it's Greg's project and the Hamilton project by Dion Daniel. They're all his projects. And whatever is happening in Nevis is happening because of him. 2 years ago, you were able to lie in the road and no vehicle will roll over you. And no vehicle will knock you down, but now you can't move for vehicles. Let us suppose it is true. Let's talk some economics here. Let us suppose it is true. If you have 100 vehicles now and you had 2 then, how does that help the economy of the country? Because you're driving around in your vehicles mean you have jobs? Because you're driving around in your vehicles mean that you have an income? Because you're driving around in the vehicles mean that you have investment? The truth is that this government has done nothing to change the face of the economic face of this country. And up to now, up to last Friday night, Saturday night when they spoke, they have no plans to change the face of this country, the economic face of this country. And this is what is needed now. He mentioned Sinkits, and everybody talking about Sinkits. And I was waiting to hear what was he doing in Nevis. You know he didn't make the connection? Because there was no connection for him to make. He started to abuse all kinds of people. And I wouldn't even bother with that. I just want you to understand. what is happening to us. Mr. Amory is a very angry man. He's a very angry man, and I'm not even sure what he's angry about. I just want to tell you that if he truly wants to develop the country, he not only has to bring investors in investment, he has to have people, Nevian people, who can undertake these investments. What is Mr. Amory doing? Andrea Bosu. He has said that she failed the evaluation test. I don't even want to go there because I don't know that there's any evidence anywhere of any evaluation. But the lady failed the evaluation test, but she passed the PhD test. She can be a PhD in her own field, in the field of working with challenged people. But she can't hold down a job on the island of Nevis. And look at Corey. The man tried to discredit Corey Tyson, somebody who is respected by the youth on Nevis and St. Kitts, somebody who has done so much. But he can't perform because Mr. Amory says so. Modestine can't perform. Idella can't perform. All these people are hangers-on. I don't want to say who are hangers-on from who are not hangers-on. But we will not move forward in this country when we have a leader like that. And I'm saying to you, let us do something about it. And let us do something about it now. We need to do something about it now. Well, the other point surrounding government that we spoke about was mentioned, and I'll talk about it briefly, VAT. You know that some people are saying that St. Kitts was robbing Nevis of the VAT? St. Kitts was robbing Nevis of the VAT. So how did you solve that problem? You solve it by making sure that all the monies that are collected in Nevis are kept in Nevis. Mind you, all the monies that were collected on us were also kept in Nevis. The only difference was that there was an accounting, and the accounting was based on a formula, and totals were added up, and at the end of every month, we got an extra $1 million to $1.5 million. They have foregone that. They have forfeited that because they have told the people of Nevis that it is better to collect all the money in Nevis and we are going to be better off. So we are losing $1.5 million. We are losing $90 million a year. What is it? No. $18 million a year. We are losing that to satisfy the mathematics of CCM and Mark Brantley. But notice something, Saturday night, Mr. Amory made a point. And you know what his point was? Nevis is not getting its fair share of the VAT. Present tense, Nevis is not getting its fair share of the VAT. So if he has introduced a new system invented by him and his party, and Nevis is not getting its fair share, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? So he wants his fair share. Are you following the reasoning? Vance Amory is going to come back. He's going to cuss off Douglas or send somebody to cuss off Douglas, maybe Mark Brantley. And then he's going to go down, good cop, bad cop type of situation, and say, we need to share the VAT. You wait, and you will see. And I hope you're following me. And you're supposed to mark him down for that. Now, come to the point. You know, we have spent a number of weeks talking about integrity in public life and good behavior and good governance. And some people have said that nothing is going to come of what we know. I understand that Mr. Amory is taking Zedaiza to court or has threatened to do so. I don't know. But I can bet your life that that case is not going to reach the court. And if it does, somebody is going to have to explain why they have come to the court. Why have they come to the court? Because he has admitted that monies were sent to an account that he controlled. But look at it. You know how much money was sent to the state of St. Kitts and Nevis? $3 million US. Half sent to an account in National Bank and half sent to an account in Bank of Nevis. Plus an extra 150,000. You have to ask yourself the question, was all the money for the land? Was all the money to end up in government coffers? Some of the money were to remain a particular place? You need to ask yourself these questions. But I want to assure you that the matter will not rest where they want it to rest. That matter, we have done our job, the people have done their jobs, and that matter will be investigated. Over 1,000 people signed, and let me tell you something. Mr. Amri said he wanted to see the signatures. You think I should show him? You think I should show him? Well, let me tell you, he won't see them. But I have them, copies, and the Prime Minister has copies. And they're real, and they're genuine signatures. They're real, and they're genuine signatures. I think mine was first. I think mine was first, Carlisle. Oh, yes. Right, it was first. I could sign it all over again if he wants to see it. Real and genuine signatures demanding an explanation. An explanation will have to be given in this country because our country has to be cleaned up. Our country has to be cleaned up. Too many people are saying that we are in the money laundering business. Too many people are saying negative things about Nevis especially. And we have to clean up from the top right down to the bottom. I know all of you are wondering tonight, and all of you are asking the question, will he say that the investigation is taking place? Will he say that somebody will be locked up soon? What will he say? I will say nothing. I am just confident that this matter is not at rest, and this matter will be brought before the public. Good night, and thank you.